What's good? I know it's been a minute. Ooh, dang, crooked. What's good? I know it's been a minute. Y'all probably can hear me now. I forgot. It's been so while. It's been so long. I forgot to put my headset on to start it off. Well, it's good. Let's get it. What's good, man? Hey, man. Let some of y'all fall through in here real quick for one time. For the one time, I know it's been a minute, but your boy's back. Live videos are coming back. I had some stuff I had to handle and take care of, but don't worry. Like I said, your boy is back. Live videos is back. So, man, let's get it. Let a couple of y'all come through in here real quick. Let some of y'all fall through. Man, comment. Let me know y'all up in this thing before we get started. Got a couple stuff to talk about actually. Prime time was good. Front runner was good. Man, make sure you're hitting that like button when y'all come through. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure y'all comment. Let me know y'all up in here. Let me know what's good. Meal, sweet Swiss cheese, bro. Really, bro. Really. That's how y'all feel, man. We gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it. Cause it's definitely getting to that time. We close in the we you know bye week is past. Season a lot of stuff in the season start to set in, so we kind of know exactly where we at. So yeah, let me see real quick before we get started. Let a couple more of y'all come in here. Just a couple more come through real quick before we get full fledged started. Let a couple more of y'all come through real quick. We about to get started. Like I said, comment. Let me know what's up with y'all, man. Let me know how y'all been. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I'm about to say like, hold on. I said it ain't posting. All right. So, like I said, we about to get started. So we gonna start right now with the draft order. As of right now, going into week 10, the draft order looked like this. The Texans got the number one overall pick. They won 6-1 with the number one overall pick. Carolina is number two at 2-7. Vegas is three at 2-6. So obviously Carolina had their bye week yet. Pittsburgh is four at 2-6. Detroit is five at 2-6. Uh, the Eagles have this pick, but it's from the Saints. From the Saints being 3-6, it's the Eagles own the Saints pick. Arizona is seventh at 3-6. Jacksonville is eight at 3-6. Chicago is nine at 3-6. Green Bay is 10 at 3-6. Uh, Denver, which Seattle owns that pick, is 11 at 3-5. The Rams, Detroit on their pick is 12 at 3-5. The Texans own Cleveland's pick, which is 13 at 3-5. Indianapolis is 14 at 3-5-1. Atlanta is 15 at 4-5. Washington 16 at 4-5. New England is 17 at 4-5. I mean at 5-4. And Cincinnati is 18 at 5-4. And that's all the teams that will not make the playoffs. So any pick from 1 to 18 is a non-playoff team. 19 through 32 or will be the playoff teams, and those standings go as follow. In the AFC, Buffalo has the is leading for the home field advantage at 6-2. Kansas City is second seed at 6-2. Buffalo will be the third seed at 6-3. Tennessee will be the fourth seed at 5-3. The Jets will be the sixth. The Jets will be the 5 seed. I'm sorry. The Jets will be the 5 seed at 6-3. Miami will be the 6 seed at 6-3. The Chargers would be the 7th seed at 5-3. And then on the NFC side, the Eagles would be the number 1 seed at 8-0. Minnesota would be the 2nd seed at 7-1. I can't believe Minnesota 7-1. Seattle will be the 3rd seed at 6-3. Tampa will be the 4th seed at 4-5. You know how the NFL is all divisional leaders. Because Dallas will be the 5th seed at 6-2. The Giants, who the Texas opponent this week, will be the 6th seed at 6-2, and then the 49ers will be the 7th seed at 4-4. So those are the standings of how things are coming into this week. So let's break down. We're gonna talk about these games, because I'm also gonna tell you about the teams that we want to win, teams that we want to lose, because right now it's backwards of how it usually is. You know how you normally want a team to win or team to lose because they're in front of you. Now you want teams to lose. You want teams to win instead of lose because you want to secure a top 5 pick. So first game will be tomorrow night on Amazon Prime against the Atlanta Falcons. It'll be the Carolina Panthers are hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Carolina Panthers 2-7, and the Falcons are 4-5. We need the Carolina to win, because right now Carolina will be in position for the 2nd seed, for the 2nd pick in the draft. So you want them to win. They got one more win than you. You want them to get an extra win. So all Texas fans should be rooting for Carolina. I really don't have a real pick of who I think would win the game. I'm just rooting for Carolina to win. So I'm hoping Carolina wins. Minnesota 7-1. Buffalo 6-2. Buffalo hosts Minnesota 7-1. And man, I can't believe Minnesota's that damn good at 7-1. Man, I can't believe Minnesota's that damn good at 7-1. Buffalo just lost to the Jets. Buffalo ain't gonna lose 2 games in a row. I'm gonna say Buffalo gonna win that game. Then you have the Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears at 3-6 hosting Detroit Lions. Man, we need Detroit to win. That's what we need. We need Detroit to go ahead and pull off that victory. I think, to be honest, I probably would pick Chicago, but we need Detroit to win that game. We need Detroit to win that game to help. Get them a third win and help push them a little bit further away from the number 1 pick. The Tennessee Titans at 5-3 hosting the 3-5 Broncos. I think Tennessee will win, but I don't know if Malik is still starting, Denver might win. But if Malik is not starting, if Ryan Taylor is back, I'm gonna pick the Titans. I don't know exactly who's playing. So I think that really depends on the quarterback. The 6-2 Chiefs host the 3-6 Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm rooting for Jacksonville, because even if Jacksonville were to win, even if Jacksonville were to get the number 1 pick, we know that they're not going after a quarterback. I don't want them to be in position to trade that pick, for multiple reasons. One, I don't want a quarterback. I don't want them to be top 1, top 2, and a team that's thirsty and needs a quarterback, like, who knows, Seattle, they have multiple picks. Detroit, they have multiple picks. The Eagles, I don't think they're going to be drafting a quarterback, but teams that have multiple picks or have other ammunition to go out there and get a quarterback and be able to move and be able to give Jacksonville draft capital, I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to be able to have the ammunition to go up there and have the means to actually have the team willing to trade back in Jacksonville. So I don't want that to happen. I also don't want Jacksonville to acquire a whole bunch of picks. I don't want Jacksonville to have. I don't want Jacksonville into later deep drafts or in this draft in itself to have multiple picks, because even though from a quarterback standpoint, I don't think they're going to be after a quarterback like we are, but with that second pick, Jacksonville probably after the same things that we're after when we're talking about pass rushers. We're talking about defensive linemen, talking about maybe receivers, talking about some offensive. We're probably going to be in that same pool for whatever our second first round pick is. So I don't want Jacksonville to have multiple picks in this draft or in the future draft as well. So I want Jacksonville to beat Kansas City. Do I think Jacksonville gonna beat Kansas City? No, I don't think Jacksonville gonna beat Kansas City, but I want Jacksonville to beat Kansas City. Uh, the Dolphins host the 6-3 Dolphins host the 3-5 Browns. You already know we going for Miami. We want that Cleveland pick to be as high as it possibly can, so we definitely going for Miami. Uh, the 2-6 Steelers going up against the 3-6 Saints. Either way it go, it's beneficial, because as long as it's not a tie. Because if the Steelers win, that helps gets the team away from the number one pick, and kind of the same thing with Jacksonville. They'll be a team that's primed to trade, so that gives the team away from the number one pick. But also, if New Orleans wins, that also moves up that Cleveland pick as well, because New Orleans is ahead of Cleveland. So it kind of helps you both ways, as long as it's not a tie. You just, it really don't matter as long as it's not a tie. The next game, I'm gonna put a pin in it real quick. The Colts Raiders game, I'm gonna put a pin in that game real quick. The following game after that is the 3-6 Packers host the 6-2 Dallas Cowboys. I really want to say Dallas is gonna win this game, because Dallas owes Green Bay for a lot. I know Skip says about it all the time, but I think Green Bay's finally going to get a win, and I think that's probably the type of team they'll beat is the Cowboys. So I think Green Bay beats Dallas. I think Green Bay beats Dallas. The 3-6 Cardinals and the 3-6 Rams, and who hosts the Rams pick? Detroit hosts the Rams pick, and then their team is viable for a quarterback. So we probably should want the Rams to win this game to help move that other the other Detroit pick further back. But then again, who knows? That might help us want to move with that Detroit pick. They just paid Kyler Murray, so obviously the Cardinals not gonna be going after a quarterback. So yeah, I think it'd be more beneficial for the Rams to win than the Cardinals to win. Even though the Rams can't do anything with that pick, but that pick is owned by Detroit, and Detroit can do some things, just like the Texans. Actually, Detroit and the Texans are actually looking for the exact same things, possibly a quarterback, and also talent on defense. So yeah, the only thing that only thing that they not looking for that we might be looking for is some offensive weapons like receivers or things like that. Uh, Sunday Night Football, the 4-4 49ers host the 5-3 Chargers. That's not going to be a good game. I don't know why. Why is that game the Sunday night game, and why is the Monday night game the Monday night game? Looking at the schedule, uh, never mind, because it's really not like, I mean, outside of Green Bay and Dallas, that would have thought would have been a good game going into the season. Like the rest of these matchups, either they not good games, and you wouldn't have thought they were going to be good games. I mean, like the Bills and the Vikings, you wouldn't have thought that was going to be a good game. But that's actually a game that you probably could have put on Monday Night Football. That could have been that could have been a game, because Minnesota was a decent team last year. So, but yeah, I don't see the 49ers and the Chargers. I mean, I understand why you want to put the Chargers, but the 49ers, even going to the season with Trey Lance, you didn't know what you're going to get out of Trey Lance. So I don't know why that would be a game that you want to put on TV. Uh, I think the Chargers win. I think the Chargers win. Uh, I think the Chargers will go into San Francisco and beat the 49ers. And then Monday Night Football, the 8-0 Eagles go against the 4-5 Commanders. I think the Eagles win. I think the Eagles win. Now, the two games that I want to talk about because they actually kind of both mean something to each other on multiple fronts. Uh, and that's the Colts Raiders game. You already know I do the Texan game. It's the last game that I picked. So the 2-6 Las Vegas Raiders, who I was very high on, is my huge big disappointment this season. Hosts the 3-5-1 Indianapolis Colts, who just fired Frank Wright and just hired Jeff Saturday to be their interim head coach. And it's going to be his first game on the road against the Raiders, who has a lot of talent. Like the Raiders have talent. No matter what you think about Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Renfro, Waller, the tight end. I know he's missed some games. Jacobs, the running back. Crosby on defense. Like they got skilled players and also got some good defensive players, and they just have not showed up this season. Not at all. In the beginning of the season, they were winning. And even I think the last couple games, they just really haven't been able to close the deal a lot of the time. Either they starting off slow and can't finish. I mean, either they start off slow and it's just they end up running out of time, or they start the game off fast and they just can't finish it. Because what they beat us in, who else did they beat? I know they beat us. Who else did they beat this season? I can't remember who else they beat. Was it the Chargers or the Broncos? Yeah, it was the Broncos. It was a team in their division because they lost the Chargers. They beat the Broncos. So this game, kind of like the Steelers Saints game, when I say that like it benefits you on both sides as long as it's not a tie. Kind of the same thing with this game with the Raiders and the kind of same thing with the Raiders and the in the Colts. It benefits you either or, as long as it doesn't end up in a tie. One, because of like the Colts are obviously they're trying to get the number one pick and they're trying to put themselves in position to draft a quarterback. So on that value, like, hey, you want the Colts to win and get themselves out of that. Give them a fourth win of the season. I mean, they get a fourth win, and they still have to play you. So if they get a fourth win and they happen to beat you, they gives you 5 wins, and they gives them the tiebreaker over you. And versus, because I say when you're talking about this situation, it's flipped on its head and it's backwards. It's more so that you host the tiebreaker because you have a better draft selection, a better draft spot. That's what you kind of want, as long as it don't be a tie. But same thing, the Raiders, they only got 2 wins. So if the Raiders lose and the Texans fool around win, now y'all both have 2 wins, and the Raiders will have more losses than you because of that tie. You got that little funky tie, which now as the season has progressed and got further, it's starting to hurt you now. Which I said back on the season, no, I would rather lose the game. I would rather lose the game. And I know people like, oh, it's going to be beneficial if you needed a tiebreaker, going to the playoffs in division time, because y'all really had high hopes, never had high hopes the Texans going to the playoffs. But it actually hurts you. And it hurts you in a sense when it comes to this draft process, even though the Raiders actually host a tiebreaker on you because the Raiders actually beat you head to head. So I'm thinking that I'm going for the Colts. I'm thinking I'm going for the Raiders to win the game, because even if the Colts lose, the Colts still have 3 wins to your 1, and you still have to play the Colts to give them their 4th win to your 1 win. And so you still have a way to make sure that the Colts cannot surpass you. When it comes, you still have a way and a means make sure that the Colts do not surpass you when it comes to getting the first pick, because you have a tie and the Raiders don't have a tie. that whole Raiders head-to-head thing is invalid because if y'all have the same amount of wins, if y'all both, if the Texans and the Raiders both end up with, I'm gonna just say 2 wins or 3 wins, they both end up with just 2 wins or 3 wins. Well, you're gonna have less losses than them. They'll have the number one pick, and they'll have the number one pick, and you have the number two pick in that scenario. Which, like I said, the Raiders could be just like the Steelers and be just like the Jags and move on from their pick because they just paid Derek Carr, or because they really never really done anything with Derek Carr, they could just say blanket, yeah, we paid Derek Carr. We'll just draft a quarterback. We'll draft a quarterback number one. We'll let him sit. If it's Bryce, if it's Levis, if it's CJ, whoever it is, we can draft him, let him sit for another year, let Derek Carr play. And if Derek Carr comes out and balls or whatever, now maybe, who knows, we can possibly flip Derek Carr to a team that feels like they're a quarterback away. Like an Indianapolis Colts type situation for the past couple of years, and you move on from Derek Carr in this contract, and then you have, so the Raiders have a lot of different things to do if they get that number one pick. The Raiders could do it. They always said they could trade and get a whole bunch of assets, get future first round picks, and build that way to help out Derek Carr and their Raiders team, or they could draft a quarterback, let him sit, and then maybe use Derek Carr to be the one who facilitate this draft capital and things of that nature. So I don't want that in the position. So I actually think I need the Raiders to win, because at the end of the day, you still can make the Colts come back. You can still make sure you can still help the Colts not surpass you. Now, obviously, if the Colts win, if the Colts beat, and I think if the Colts beat the Raiders, they probably damn near cement that they won't get a top 3 pick, because they still have to play the Texans. They still have to play the Texans, and they're probably in Indianapolis, where it's tough for the Texans to win, period. And the Texans more likely will lay down and try to lose that game to guarantee that, and that will give the Colts what, 5 wins? That kind of pushes them out of the conversation. That kind of pushes the 5 win, kind of pushes you out of the conversation of a top 4 pick. Kind of move you out a little bit, and you got the tie. So even if you got 5 wins and say Pittsburgh got 5 wins, Pittsburgh is gonna be 5-12. You're gonna be 5-11-1. So you're gonna have less losses than them. So they're gonna jump you when it comes to the draft standings. So I think the Colts win. If the Colts win, that kind of cements that they won't get a top 5. They won't get a top 4, top 5 pick. It kind of puts them in that, like, damn near cements that. Now the Texans go to the Meadowlands to face the 6-2. Are they 6-2 or are they 6-2? 6-2. They 6-1. What are they record? What is the Giants record? 6-2. The 6-2 Giants. I think the Texans are going to lose. I said this going into the season. I said that this game possibly would be, this game right here is the perfect type of game that Daniel Jones is the perfect type of quarterback that is not a good quarterback that the Texans defense make look good. No, it happens every year. Even when the Texans have a good defense, even the years the Texans have had a good solid defense, we've made bad quarterbacks or quarterbacks that are not good quarterbacks look decent against us. Either look like good quarterbacks or look decent against us. And that's why I thought coming into this game, and now they playing like it. They're 6-2. They're able to run the football on both ways. They can run the football with Saquon has turned to Saquon Barkley all over again. Saquon is Saquon, and Daniel Jones able to run as well. This team has a hard time struggling, going up against running against teams that are strong, run heavy, who have good dominant runners like Lamar, Jacobs, like Derrick Henry a couple weeks ago. And then now you got a quarterback with this, and you add in like say Sanders. I mean not Sanders. Saquon. Couldn't think of Saquon name. And then Saquon. I think that the Texans are gonna have a long day run the football. And then who knows what's going on with Brandon Cooks? Still hasn't practiced. He didn't practice again today. Who knows if he's playing? I to be honest, I think that we might have seen the last of Brandon Cooks as a Texan this year. I'm not gonna say we've seen the last of Brandon Cooks. Period. 'Cause I thought that way with Larry Tunsil, and you see Larry Tunsil's back playing now. You might have seen the last of Brandon Cooks this season. Me personally, if I was in control, then you would see the last of Brandon. You would have seen the last of Brandon Cooks. He would be deactivated. They did it with T.O. back in the day. They did it with Keyshawn Johnson. They did it with Randy Moss. Like, these are two of these guys are Hall of Fame receivers. The other guy was the number one overall pick at receiving in Keyshawn and a Super Bowl champion. Brandon Cooks doesn't have none of those merits. Brandon Cooks, in my opinion, is not even the real number one. He's the number one on this team because his team is devoid of talent. I said this 2 years ago when the Texans traded for Brandon Cooks that Will Fuller was still the number one receiver. People on the Sauce, shout out to everybody on Sauce Sports, everybody here, man, it's the number one receiver. Number one receiver is Brandon Cooks. I said no. The number one receiver is Will Fuller. And up until Will Fuller got suspended for popping PEDs, Will Fuller was the number one receiver on the team when it came to targets, catches, and yards. And I think touchdowns as well. That's what Deshaun leaned towards. Even when Hop was here. And when Hop and Will Fuller both was on the field at the same time, Deshaun will lean to look towards Will Fuller a little bit more than Hop. Now, in crucial crunch times, obviously, like crucial down and distances, like third down conversion, things like that, you go to your safety blanket, obviously he was going to Hop. But just and just methodically throughout the game, he was looking in 15 direction a lot. So, and I just felt I thought that more so with when it comes to the chemistry between Hop and Fuller, and also I'm not Hop and Fuller, but Deshaun and Fuller, and also Deshaun and Bruce Ellington. But I also just thought that from a talent standpoint, that Fuller was better than Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks just benefited from being in New Orleans, playing with Drew Brees, going to New England, playing with Tom Brady, then being on the Rams that went to the Super Bowl, playing with the Rams. He played with two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and also played on two brands that got spotlight because the Pacers got spotlight because they always win. They had Tom Brady, and the Rams got spotlight because they in LA and they were winning at the time. But in none of those situations, Brandon Cooks was ever the number one pick. Never the number one receiver. Never the number one option in those situations. But he's the number one option here because the team is devoid of talent. But I say all that to say this. You got people like Randy Moss, T.O., and Keyshawn Johnson. Those guys got deactivated for, I think, a little bit maybe some blow-ups on the sideline during the game, but not like basically threaten the organization. Oh, I'm gonna expose you and all this is weird fun, and just not showing up to practice and not playing on the prime time game when the only prime time game you got this whole season. The whole world watching, and you decide not to show up. You too good to play, too good to practice, too good to play, because you butt hurt and mad because you ain't getting no trade. Yeah, I'll deactivate him. He wouldn't play. So that's where I'm at. And before I get it, man, make sure you hit them like bugs, man. Make sure you get them likes up, man. Disclaimer: tomorrow your boy birthday, so be a real one. Be a real one. Tomorrow your boy birthday. Be a real one. Show some love. Hit the like button. Comment. Let me know what's going on. If you don't mind hitting the super chat for $1, hey, it's your boy birthday tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Scorpio. All my Scorpios, holla at your boy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all already know what it is. Hey, it's your boy birthday tomorrow. So, man, at least you do hit the like button. You can hit that like button, get them likes up a little bit. Like, come on now. I see 17 people in here, only 9 likes. Like, come on, man. Come on. Hit that like button, get them likes up. Come on. I appreciate the likes. Like I said, tomorrow my birthday. Go on, hit the like button, get them likes up. You know what I'm saying? Comment, let me know what's good. Let me know how y'all feeling. I'm going to ask y'all a question in a minute. Going back to the whole Jeff Saturday in the Colts situation, because it kind of piggybacks and ties into what I want to say. But I believe the Texans will lose to the Giants and continue to hold their spot at the number one pick. Part of the reason why I believe the Texans will lose is because I think they're trying to lose, and like the Colts are obviously trying to lose. Yeah, bench Matt Ryan for Sam Ehlinger, who was not even good at UT. You fire your offensive coordinator 1 week, and then the following week you fire Frank Wright, and then you hire Jeff Saturday that has zero, I know you fellas know my name, man, NFL or college coaching experience. He has high school coaching experience. I know people talking about, and people were mad about the Texans because they would consider hiring Josh McCown. Two things. Both situations are bad. Both situations are trash. But I actually could condone Jeff Saturday slightly more than Josh McCown. One, actually Jeff Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, was the head coach at the high school program he was at. He was there for a couple years. Josh McCown he was never an official coach. He helped out. Like, he helped out with the coaching staff. The team his son played for here and there, because he was still playing for the Eagles at the time. Was it the Eagles? I think it was the Eagles. Or was it the Jets? One, two, either the Eagles or the Jets, one of them green teams. He was playing for them still, so he couldn't even be a full-time coach. He was helping out, like, sporadically here and there. So he wasn't even the one official coach. At least Saturday was official coach for 3 to 4 years on this coaching staff. If I'm not mistaken, was the head coach. And McCown wasn't no type of coach. And then, I hate to pull this card out, just Jeff Saturday was a better player than McCown. So, either way, both situations I don't condone, but I would just say I can make a better case for Jeff Saturday being more qualified than McCown. But both situations, neither one should be hired. But the Colts obviously are trying to tank. They're obviously trying to tank. They're trying to get the number one pick, because we all know what the Colts' problem is. The Colts' problem was the day that Andrew Luck announced that he was retiring, and the Colts fans. I have a cousin who's a Colts fan. Colts fans to this day, they hoping that Andrew Luck, the 12, walking back through their door. Now, I think that Andrew Luck was a franchise quarterback. Don't think he deserved the high grade that he had. He's the best prospect since John Elway. Don't think kind of said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence. But at least I believe in Andrew Luck's skills a little bit more. Even though Andrew Luck did turn the ball over a lot, especially when he played against J.J. Watt and the Texans. But a lot of Colts fans act like Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning are switched. Like, they act like Luck is the person who brought them the Super Bowl appearances and the championships, and not Peyton Manning. It's kind of weird, because actually the only thing Andrew Luck did was win a bad AFC South twice, in 2013 and 14. And that's it, because the Texans won in 15 and 16, and the Jags won in 17. Now in 18, Luck went to the playoffs and came into Houston and beat the Texans, but that was really it. Luck did make an AFC Championship game. So not to diminish, Luck did make an AFC Championship game, but they are still to this day, like I said, waiting that Luck coming back. And I know Luck ain't coming back, and they know when they recognize that they're not going to be able to get nowhere. They're not going to get nowhere until they get a quarterback. So to all the people out there, oh, we don't need to draft a quarterback. Let's build through the defense and let's do. The Colts, the Texans should be one. The Texans themselves should be an example from what we've done from the Matt Schaub era up until we got Deshaun Watson. How good those teams could and would have been if they had better quarterback play. But I digress. But the Colts themselves, I said this before, good teams that don't have good quarterback, good teams with mediocre quarterback play make bad decisions make bad quarterback decisions. Good teams with mediocre quarterback play make bad quarterback decisions. They either spend money on bad players, or they get fooled like they get fooled like the Jags did with Blake Bortles. What I believe Seattle's gonna fool around and do with Geno Smith. What the Giants, I feel like, gonna fool around gonna do with Daniel Jones. Make bad. You can kind of make the case for the Cardinals, even though the Cardinals not a good team. But the Cardinals made the playoff last year. Then you give Kyler Murray a contract, so you kind of make that. But they either do things like that, or they do what the Colts do, what the Texans were doing for a minute when the Texans would win all those AFC Souths that Bill O'Brien used to brag about all the time, going to get a quarterback every year. Oh, we'll go out and we'll get Phillip Rivers. Oh, we'll go and get Dissett. Oh, we'll go and get Matt Ryan. Oh, we'll go get Carson Wentz. Like keep on spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, spinning your wheels, making bad quarterback decisions. And now you waste the talent. You waste the Darius Leonard's and the now you got what you call it hurt and Jonathan Taylor. Just wasting talent, just like how you kind of wasted luck. You had talent and luck, but you didn't go get him no. You did. I always said this back in the day when it came to Andrew Luck. I was never going to be concerned about the Colts until they fix their offensive line or their defensive line, because either they will allow somebody to run all over them, because that's normally what happened to him in the playoffs. People ran all over him, or Andrew Luck was getting crushed, especially when he was playing against the Texans and J.J. Watt, because they couldn't protect Luck. So until they fixed one of those lines, if not both those lines, I didn't. Even though Andrew Luck was a franchise quarterback, I didn't believe in the Colts. And I know people kind of want to use my words against me. Like, see, you even said he franchise quarterback didn't matter. I wasn't that high on Luck. I don't think that Luck was a guy who made his team better. Is what I mean. Even though he got his team to win, in a bad division, a crappy AFC South. But I don't think that Luck was. I don't believe Luck is exactly what people wanted Luck to be. He had all the tools, but I don't think Luck was exactly what people wanted him to be. But that's neither here nor there. I think he was still a good player, still a franchise quarterback, still was deserved to be the number one overall pick. And like I said, if the Colts would do it over again, they would trade your team in that position would not trade that pick. They would draft Andrew Luck. I would too, 10 times out of 10. If you put me in the 2012 draft, I would have did the exact same thing. But I say all that to say this, because this is what I want to ask y'all, and please comment. The Colts fired Frank Reich. I think everybody's in unison. I see a lot of people support Davis Mills. I have yet to see anybody support Pep Hamilton. So I think we're all in belief that Pep is going to be gone after this season. We don't know. I think people are kind of up in the air about Lovey because they just fired a black quarterback, a black head coach after 1 year. Are they going to fire another black head coach after another year? So people kind of really don't know if they're going to fire a head coach back-to-back years. So we don't know. People kind of up in the air and really don't know about Lovey. But I think for damn sure we all know that Pep ain't gonna be here. Would y'all want the Texans to bring in Frank Reich to be the OC? Please comment. I want people to comment. Let me know. I'm gonna give my opinion in a minute, but I want y'all. I want to see some comments. So please feel free, comment. Let me know. Yes, no, maybe. So, will y'all be willing to hire Frank Reich to be the offensive coordinator, especially and keep this in mind as well, especially the Texans having potentially the number one overall pick, or at the very least a top 5 pick, if not the number one overall pick, and possibly be getting a quarterback in said draft, like a C.J. Stroud, like a Bryce Young, like a Hendon Hooker, whoever you feel like should be up there. Just keep that in mind. See what y'all talking about. Nope. Okay, so no. Okay, Wink saying nope to Frank Reich. Ken Dorsey, excellent choice. I don't think you can get. I don't think you can get to Ken Dorsey, because Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator. If you're gonna get Ken Dorsey, you're gonna have to hire Ken Dorsey to be the head coach, because Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills right now. And you can't do lateral moves. Y'all know I'm a big, huge Leftwich fan, and me and Ray talk about this all the time. And Ray is on board with bringing in Leftwich as an OC head coach and waiting. I think that's the only way you'll be able to lure him here, is to be head coach, be offensive coordinator, head coach in waiting. I don't know how you can get around with this, especially with the whole Rooney Rule type situation. Like it's the whole, and that's a whole conversation for another day. But I think that's the only way. I think that's the only way to bring him here, because you're not gonna be able to bring him in just straight as an OC, because it's gonna be a lateral move Frank. Frank. Okay, Wink. I think I know, but let me know why you say no to Frank Wright. Wouldn't he wouldn't be the first choice though. Go get Ken Dorsey from the Bills. Answer my other question. Huh. All right, okay, all right, right. What was your question? I ain't looking. My bad, bro. Uh, okay. I guess that's the question you asked me, Ray Ray, about Turner McKee. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know who he is. I have no idea. Levis is perfect for the Colts. I was thinking about that. Levis is that. Levis. Will Levis is the perfect quarterback for both the Colts and Detroit. He really is. More so the Colts though, because I think Detroit probably perfect quarterback would probably more so be Bryce. But Will Levis actually, I think Will Levis fits right in with the Colts. Will Levis fits right. Will Levis fits right in with the Colts. But nah, I don't know nothing about. I don't know nothing about that Stanford quarterback, bro. I don't know nothing about. I don't know nothing about. I will have to look. I will have to look. I will have to look into him. Who is Ken Dorsey? Ken Dorsey is the Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey is the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He also was Andre Johnson quarterback in Miami, back at the U. All about the U. Back, when the U was a dominant team. I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got drafted by the 49ers. I think he played for the 49ers. But he was like he was like the only person that was on that team consistently that didn't get like first or second round draft pick. Like that team, like the 2001 Miami team, got Andre Johnson, got Jeremy Shockey, got uh, um, um, Winslow, got Clem Portis, Frank Gore, Willis McGahee, got Ed Reed, got Philip Buchanan, got uh, um Vince Wilfork. I think Chris Miles was on that team. Uh, Sean Taylor. Uh, um, who else was on that team? Vilma, the linebacker Vilma. Like that team was filled with first and second and third round talent, and the quarterback of that team was not. I think he got drafted. I think he got drafted in the third or fourth round. Uh, Cause yeah, it was kind of like a Tebow in Florida thing, but except he didn't get the hype like Tebow got. Cause like Tebow had a lower team in Florida too. But Tebow also did win a Heisman. But seventh round, okay, cool. I didn't know exactly what round he was in, but definitely was drafted. I think he said I played for the 49ers, and like he just really wasn't. It wasn't really a. Oh, Eric Winston was on. Eric Winston. I didn't know Eric Winston went to Miami. I didn't know Eric Winston. I didn't know Eric. Did I know Eric Winston went to Miami? Cause now I think about, I think I did know that. I think I did. I know Chris Miles went to Miami. Did I know Eric Winston went to Miami? Appreciate that, Ray Ray. Shout out to Ray Ray. and everybody out there in South Sports. Hey, also, hey, Whataburger. Yeah, holla at your boy. Whataburger, y'all need to give me an endorsement, bro. Because I didn't put so many people on the chili cheeseburger. So many people. I didn't put so many people on the chili cheeseburger, bro. So many people on the chili cheeseburger. And everybody that has tried this chili cheeseburger, and especially they had the one with the white chocolate raspberry shake, say it's fire. Say it's fire. So we gonna start this hashtag Spitz for Whataburger endorsement. Hashtag I need to get a Whataburger. You know, back then McDonald's had the Travis Scotts and the I forgot what's the girl named Sweetie, and it was another artist that McDonald's had the little meals for. Whataburger, holla at your boy. I need a Whataburger meal. Spitz need a Whataburger meal. That's what I needed. I need an endorsement. Cause I've been giving y'all free promo, video after video after video, live stream after live stream after live stream. I've been putting in groundwork. I put so many people on this burger. So many people on this shake. So many people on this combo. Your boy need an endorsement deal, and I need a combo. But my combo is not going to be this. My combo is going to be the A1 Thick and Hearty and a large fry with spicy ketchup and a Dr. Pepper shake. That's going to be the Spitz combo. That's the Spitz combo. The A1 Thick and Hearty, a large fry, Whataburger spicy ketchup, and a large Dr. Pepper shake. That's the Spitz combo. That's the Whataburger Spitz combo right there. That's it. So Whataburger, holla at your boy. Man, I'm telling you, your numbers, your numbers gonna go through the roof. Give your boy endorsement. Come on, give your boy. I needs the endorsement. Everybody here will second it. Everybody here will second it. So that's what we're gonna do. That's the plan. That's the goal, to get Spitz, to get me a Whataburger endorsement. Now back to talking about the Texas guy. I see somebody put Ray Lewis. Yeah, I know Ray Lewis went to Miami, but Ray Lewis went to Miami like that was in the early 90s. Like I think Ray Lewis got drafted with 95, 96. Cause same thing with Reggie Wayne. Like Reggie Wayne went to Miami, and so did Edgerrin James, but they not on that 2000. I'm talking about that 2001 team specifically. I'm talking about that team. That's the team I'm talking about. I'm talking about that 2001 Miami team specifically. But that's the team that Ken Dorsey played and quarterback, and he's now the offensive coordinator at Buffalo. The thing is about Ken Dorsey. If you get Ken Dorsey, does that mean that you might be interested in Will Levis? Now I'm gonna answer my own question. Cause Wink, I disagree with you, bro. You my boy now. Shout out to my boy Wink. Man, I say shout out to everybody in South Sports, but shout out to my boy Wink, cause Wink said no. I will bring in Frank Wright to be the offensive coordinator. Absolutely. I would absolutely bring Frank Wright to be the offensive coordinator. Absolutely. Especially if you have the number one pick and you draft CJ Stroud. Especially if you draft CJ Stroud. Especially if you draft it. You see, you see, the thing is, maybe Frank Wright might just be just like was it North? Yeah, just like North Turner. Just like possibly even Josh McDaniels. Who's another one? Wade Phillips. Good coordinators. Just not good to be head coaches. To be honest, Kubiak. Now I know when Kubiak was doing this thing and Denver won the Super Bowl, I mean, he had a Hall of Fame quarterback, had a Hall of Fame running back, had a Hall of Fame tight end, had Hall of Famers on the offensive line, and I do know his offense did translate in Houston. And he had good offenses in Houston, so he was a bit. Obviously, his offensive genius did travel, but His offensive genius his offensive genius did travel. Even though I believe, kind of believe the same thing about Shanahan. To me, Shanahan. I said this back in 2010, 2009. I mean, I'm sorry, because he left in 2010. 2009 was his last year. I said this in 2009 that I thought that Kyle Shanahan was the best offense coordinator in the NFL, and I believe that he was the best offensive coordinator in the field up until he became a head coach. And he's a good head coach. I think he's a better offensive coordinator. I think he's a better coordinator than coach. I really do. Even though the 49ers are competitive and they were, his offensive, and now he got Garoppolo calling him. I believe his offenses are better as a coordinator. Like, I mean, he had Matt Schaub playing at Pro Bowl, all pro levels. Remember, Matt Schaub led the league in passing and was the MVP of the Pro Bowl under his tutelage. He had Matt Ryan go to the Super Bowl and win MVP. The year he went to the Super Bowl, we looking at their defense. We weren't looking at their offense. We weren't looking at Garoppolo. So I believe that he's a better coordinator than coach. I think Frank Wright might be the same way. I think Frank Wright might be the same way, and I think if you give Frank Wright an actual quarterback, because Frank Wright's and thing is, Frank Wright's system didn't look all that bad when it came to Andrew Luck. Couldn't think of Andrew Luck's name. His system didn't look all that bad when he had Andrew Luck in it. And his last year in Philly, Carson Wentz was looking like the MVP, and Carson Wentz was the MVP until he got hurt against the Rams. And then he had got a backup to get him all the way to the Super Bowl and beat the Patriots. And the offense didn't look bad then. Now, we can sit up and say Doug Peters, that's cool, but once they departed, it's like it was some of that offense that Doug Peters had fell off. That's the reason why Doug Peters ended up losing his job, and now he's coaching in Jacksonville. Now, who knows? Now, he might go with Doug Peters, and Jacksonville will take off. Kind of another thing, you kind of don't want that to happen. You kind of don't want him to go to back team up with Doug Peters and say they reunite that whole Philly magic with Trevor Lawrence with Sunshine over there, and Jacksonville takes off now. I think you put him here. I think you give him a quarterback like CJ, which is kind of a quarterback he used to, big arm, big quarterback, like Andrew Luck, like Carson Wentz. Like Carson Wentz is what, 6'3", 6'4"? Carson Wentz has an arm, he just couldn't stay healthy. I think that you give him a big arm, strong arm quarterback that's younger, not like Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan, who are at the end of their career, and or Dorsett, who doesn't really have talent, or injured Carson Wentz, who is at the end of his career because he had so many injuries. He didn't age. Like Carson Wentz didn't age like a dog. Like he went through dog years and just aged just completely. He is way removed from the guy we seen in 2017, and they had the Eagles at I think at 14, not 14-2, but they ended up went 14-2. But I think they were 11-2 when he got hurt. Something like that. I think they were like 11-2 when he got hurt. The year they went to the Super Bowl and won. Lead, like I said, had the MVP standing right in his face. They 10-2, 11-2, something like that. Had the MVP right in his face if he would have just stayed healthy. I think if he would have just stayed healthy and would have just played the rest of the season, and he would have won the MVP because of how good the Eagles team was and how well he was playing. So I'm not saying he would be the long-term answer. I'm not saying hire him as the head coach. I'm saying put him in as an offensive coordinator. I think you could possibly do better with especially if you draft somebody like CJ or Levis. Ugh. Definitely not Bryce. I don't think Bryce or Hendon Hooker would fit with what he would want to do. I think CJ definitely will. I think CJ definitely will. So I might be alone this one. That's fine. I don't. I'm not saying go. I'm not saying that we that. Oh, that has to be the move. We gotta go out there and hire him. I think that it's not a bad idea. I think it's not. I think it's not a bad idea. Like I don't see any issues with it. Okay, you say Foles is playing out of his mind. What about Carson Wentz up until then? And why you? And then Foles is playing out of his mind, and then he leaves, and Foles no longer plays out of his mind. Was the common denominator in that situation? He was playing out of his mind there while he was there, and then when he leaves, the Eagles fall off. But the same players. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I said, man, hit them likes up, man. Like I said, your boy birthday tomorrow. Y'all can hit the likes up for your boy. I see way more people in here than likes. Y'all can at least hit your boy a like for his birthday, bro. Like get the likes up, man. Get the likes up, bro. Tomorrow my birthday. Make sure you get the likes up, man. Y'all gotta get the likes up, man. Y'all gotta do better. If you know better, you do better. If you know better, you do better. So appreciate that. Appreciate that, Wink. But this is the thing. And actually, my birthday is not till tomorrow, but I'm not gonna be live tomorrow, obviously, because it's my birthday. But yeah, but appreciate the early birthday wishes. That's why y'all hit the likes up for the boy birthday. But but the offense, the off. Let's see, and I know, and something that you said earlier about Kubiak, you would rather bring back Kubiak. I would love to bring back Kubiak. The problem with Kubiak is the reason why I actually believe Kubiak is not here. I think Kubiak would have still been in Houston if Kubiak didn't have um the stress issues. Because I think the reason why Kubiak lost his job is because he wouldn't commit to at the time Case Keenum. He kept on moving Case Keenum with Matt Schaub. And I think the reason why he was doing that because he was trying to get a win. He was trying to get a win. Because remember, Texas won 2 games and ended up losing 14 straight. Started off season 2-0 in 2013 and lost 14 straight. I think he was just trying to get a win. He was trying to get a win because his stress level. I mean, the guy, the team was up 24-3 at halftime against the Colts, and he passed out. So I think that if those situations don't happen, I think that Kube is still here, and I think that the Texans get a quarterback for Kube, and Kube, especially if Kube had Deshaun Watson, this team would have won. I believe if the Texans would have had Deshaun Watson under Kubiak's system, they would have won the Super Bowl by now, if not two. Like the Super Bowl that Kansas City won in 2019 would have been the Texans. And the Super Bowl appearance that Kansas City had in 2020 versus Tampa more than likely would have been the Texans Super Bowl appearance. If not, if they wouldn't have got one sooner, like if they would have got one at 18, maybe, who knows? But I think that's what would have happened if he would have a coach like Kubiak in that system, that Shanahan Kubiak system. But in saying that, his stress level, I mean, that's the reason why he had to go to offensive coordinator in Baltimore, and then he only took the job at Denver because it was Denver. Outside Houston, Denver, the best thing for him to have a head coach job because he won 2 titles there as an offensive coordinator, and he was drafted in Denver as well because he was what you call his backup. He was John Elway's backup. So, and then he goes out and wins the Super Bowl there, and he goes off into the sunset. Now I think he was like a coordinator or something, or an advisor or something he was doing in Minnesota. Uh, I don't know if Kubiak could do a full time coaching job. Now if you and the thing is, if you hire Kubiak, now you go from CJ to be your number one to Bryce and Hendon Hooker being your number one. Bryce and Hendon Hooker would be your 1 and 2. And I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen a guy become a coordinator of a team that he was fired from being the head coach. Now I've seen teams bring back former coordinators to be their head coach, like Kubiak in Denver, like Shanahan in Denver, because Shanahan was a coordinator in Denver, then went to the Raiders to be the head coach, and then got hired obviously as they head coach and becomes in one Super Bowl. Yes, Byron. I've been hiring Byron for years. I've been hiring Kellen. Now I ain't. I brought up Kellen Moore back in 2019. Like I did a video. I did a video on Saw Sports for Honcho. Shout out to the boy Honcho, man, and everybody out there in Saw Sports, everybody in the round table. I did a video talking about coaching candidates in my was the top five. I think it was top five, and it was at the time it was Lincoln Riley was one, Byron was two, Bieniemy was three, four was Kellen Moore, and I think five was Greg Roman. Five was Greg Roman from Baltimore. Obviously you're not getting Lincoln Riley, and at this point in time I wouldn't want Lincoln Riley. Unless you're drafting Bryce or Hendon Hooker, I don't want Lincoln Riley. Uh, like that was specifically because of Deshaun Watson why I want Lincoln Riley. Byron would be the best pick, especially if you want CJ. But then again, if you hire Byron, you don't really need. If you Byron is good for C.J. Levis and possibly Hendon Hooker. He's not going to be a good choice for Bryce. Uh, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore might be the better choice because I think Kellen Moore could devise an offense for any of those quarterbacks that you have. Uh, Seeing what he's done with Cooper Rush, seeing what he's done with Dak. Uh, he knows how to get weapons involved. I mean, he knew how to get. I mean, at one point in time, he was out there dealing with Amari Cooper. At one point in time, he was dealing with Amari Cooper, um, Michael Gallup, and what was the other receiver they had? Because I'm not talking about CD, but it's before they drafted CD. It was another receiver that they had before they even drafted CD Lamb. Damn, what was the other receiver they had? Damn, what was the other receiver that they had? I can't think of the other receiver that they had. But he knows how to get, like I said, he knows how to get those guys involved. Knows how to get Bernard Pollard and Zeke involved. Like he knows how to get people involved in an offense. Yeah, I definitely think okay, you could draft a quarterback to fit his system, or you could draft a quarterback he could fit the system around them, and you get him weapons, get the quarterback weapons. He could definitely get them involved. So I definitely would mind wouldn't mind Kellen Moore. Uh, but are we talking about from a head? We're talking about head coaching, right? Because if you're talking about offensive coordinators, you cannot bring any of these guys in. You cannot bring in Byron. You can't bring in Leftwich. I mean, Byron Leftwich, same person. You can't bring in Leftwich. You can't bring in Kellen Moore. You can't bring in Ken Dorsey. You can't bring in none of these guys if you're speaking from a coordinator position. If you're speaking from a coordinator position, you can't bring in those guys because those are lateral moves. Those have to be hiring those guys as head coaches. They have to be hired as a head coach, and to do that, you have to get real lovey. That's the whole part because it's way easier and way acceptable, and no one's gonna bat an eye or say anything or have any mean thoughts or anything about them letting go of uh um Pep Hamilton. Pep Hamilton is sure is gone, but But Lovey is a different scenario. I don't think they can fire Lovey. If Lovey leaves, it has to be on mutual. Well, not even mutual, because no, we all know what mutual means. If they fire Lovey, they can't fire Lovey. I don't. Well, I don't think they can fire Lovey. They can do it if they want to. I don't think they will fire Lovey. It would have to be on Lovey stepping down, stepping away from the game type situation. I feel like if you're going to be moving on from a head coach this season, I mean, who knows? Man, Texas don't win no more games, and they 116 and one. Maybe it's a little bit more easier to make maybe it's a little bit more easier and more acceptable, more socially acceptable for them to move on from Lovey if that's the record, because you already know what they're gonna say. You fired three black coaches in 3 consecutive years. I know technically we didn't hire Romeo. He was an interim head coach, but they count that as three black coaches in 3 consecutive years, and you only giving them a chance, 1 year chance. Uh, that's the narrative. Now we know the Texans really. I mean, how they did Deshaun Watson. We care about narratives, but then again, they do. David Culley and Lovey Smith were both mentioned in Flores' lawsuit. That's more legal stuff. That I can't understand that. Like that's I ain't gonna say I can understand that. That's more legal stuff, and there's definitely ways around it. I don't know how they want to go about being to get away around it. I don't know. That's up to Nick Caserio and both Cal McNair. But there's nothing too that Nick Caserio also gotta be careful with continue to hire and fire coaches. Like Nick Caserio out here treating head coaches like dollar store chargers. Like, chargers from the dollar store that you buy. Oh, it's working today. Charge one out, throw it away, go buy another one. Like, he out here he ain't going out to Apple or going out to Samsung spending the $30, $40, however much the charger is, buying a brand new, fully functioning charger. He not even going to Walmart paying the $10 for the Walmart brand charger. He going to the dollar store. He going to King Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, 99 cents store, dollar for us, dollar. We a dollar. Everybody a dollar. Going out there and buying dollar chargers to charge up his phone, and they're only good for a month. And he going back to the store again. That's how he treating coaches. I don't know if Cal will allow him to constantly do that year in and year out. He's already done it once. If you do it back-to-back times again, okay, man, this one gonna be this one on you. This one's completely on you. We got the number 1 pick or a top 5 pick or whatever. We got our picks, we got multiple picks, whatever. We know we need a QB. We seen what this guy's doing now, so we know we need a QB. We know we need a QB. Now, the draft is on you, and now this head coaching hire is on you. Don't mess this up. I need to see improvement. And again, I don't know if Cal can even be that type of guy. Who even knows? I'm just saying how things are normally happening. So I don't know if he'll be. I don't know if he'll be afforded the opportunity to do that. Like I said, I think it'd be more so. It'll be easier to be acceptable if, hey, Lovey, hey, bro, hey, man, listen here. You step down. I make sure you get a nice little chunk of your guaranteed contract. Step away. Go to was it Galveston? Where you from? White House, whatever part of Texas he from, or go back to Chicago. I think he said white from Chicago. Go back to Chicago, and y'all go. Hey, y'all go chill. And he go about his merry way. And you bring in who you want to bring in. Hey, to be honest, especially from an offensive coordinator standpoint, I know I'm probably on Allen on this one. I'll bring in Joe Brady. The reason why this is the reason why I bring in Joe Brady. Why we entertain the thought of bringing in Joe Brady. The reason why I would entertain the thought of bringing in Joe Brady is because Joe Brady had one of the all-time greatest seasons. He had one of the all-time greatest seasons at LSU, being the offensive coordinator at LSU when Joe Burrow and all those guys out there at LSU and Joe Burrow had the season that he had leading to a Heisman Trophy and national championship. I think that CJ and Joe Burrow skill sets are extremely similar. They are extremely similar. CJ and Joe Burrow skill sets and play style are extremely similar. So if he could devise an offense that took Joe Burrow, who was an afterthought at LSU, nobody know who Joe Burrow was. People don't even realize that he played at Ohio State. He transferred, like just a complete afterthought, and turned him into not only a Heisman Trophy winner, a record setter, a national champion MVP, number one overall draft pick, and eventually went to go to a Super Bowl in the second year. Now I know other things transpired. The Bengals drafted talent, got Jamar Chase and things like that. But that foundation of all that we talk about, that with Joe Burrow, what we see today, started that year in 2019 at LSU. His offensive coordinator was was Joe Brady. Now Joe Brady's young. Maybe that's a plus. He had his little experience in Carolina, didn't work well. I mean, he had what's dude name? What was the dude name in Carolina? Used to coach Baylor. I forgot what his name is. But look at who they has at quarterbacks. I mean, Sam Darnold, Kyle Allen, like they didn't have an actual talent at the quarterback position, especially somebody like a Joe Burrow, or like I said, the person who's I think is a compliment to Joe Burrow, but person who's very comparable to Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud. So if you could bring in Joe Burrow to be, Joe Brady to be your offensive coordinator, and you go out there and you have the first pick in the draft and you draft CJ, and he could do the exact same thing he did for Joe Burrow, that foundational piece, even if he's not even your long-term solution, even if he's not even that the long-term answer, and you probably end up hiring somebody else to be your offensive coordinator, I think that right there could be more beneficial. Like I say, and especially when I'm looking at these quarterbacks, because this is the thing. Whoever you bring in as the offensive coordinator, whoever you bring in as the head coach, vice versa, whatever, you need to make sure that whoever you draft at quarterback, that you do with everything in your power possible to make this quarterback comfortable and have this quarterback to succeed. I say this time and time again. I never understand why teams draft a quarterback in the first round, let alone number one overall, top 5, top 10, and try to fit them into what they want to do. Like Vince Young trying to fit. I mean, Jeff Fisher tried to fit Vince Young in Norman Child's offense. Norman Child ran a pro-style offense at USC, and Vince Young ran a spread all through high school and and at UT, all operating out of shotgun, never really operating on the center. And what you gonna do? You gonna put him in the NFL and you gonna put him on the center. Put him exactly where he's not comfortable at. Makes no sense. But teams do it constantly all the time. We've seen it here in Houston. We've seen it Deshaun's rookie year. You ran a Dabo Swinney style, Clemson style offense, and Deshaun Watson's going out there throwing 4-5 touchdowns a game, just lighting up the Legion of Boom, throwing 5 touchdowns against Kansas City on Sunday Night Football, putting up 57 points on the Titans at home. out there throwing 3, 4 touchdowns against the Patriots and Bill Belichick in New England. Like I said, going up to the Legion of Boom, putting up 4 touchdowns on a fully healthy Legion of Boom. Everybody was healthy. Everybody was playing. This before people started getting traded and cut and hurt. Everybody was in there. Everybody was on that team. Everybody was on that field. Now I understand that Deshaun Watson was a special talent. Also had Hopkins, had Fuller, had things like that. But the type of offense that you was running allowed him to be himself. Allow him to do the things that he was able to do. But then you regress and you go do other things, and now you're putting a round peg in the square hole, a square peg in a round hole, however you want to say it, and you're not allowing him to do the things that he wants to do, or allowing him to do the things he's doing is successful. And you have the pieces, you have the receivers, and you start giving them away. Makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. You look at what Cincinnati did. Now, in hindsight, they probably should have drafted a offensive lineman because of what they needed. But Joe Burrow said, "Hey man, go give me my boy Jamar Chase." Paid out dividends hugely. Jamar Chase wins Rookie of the Year. Bengals go to the Super Bowl. They just drafted T. Higgins the year before. They already had Tyler Boyd on the team. Already had Joe Mixon on the team. They already had a team with offensive players. He like, nah. Give me my running mate. Give me my number one receiver from LSU who I won the national championship, who helped me put up 50 touchdowns, who helped me get a Heisman Trophy, who helped me get to the national championship and win the national championship. Bring him here. Bring him here, boy. And let's go out here and do this. And it paid off dividends tremendously. Now, I believe Jamar Chase is on the short list, fast track. Him and Justin Jefferson to be the number one receiver in the league. I go back and forth with both of them. Who I think it will eventually be the number one receiver in the league in the next year or two, because I think they both just that damn good. But that's what you need to do. Obviously, like I said, you're going to move on offensively from offensive coordinator because Pep is not going to be here. So you definitely need to bring in the offensive coordinator. Definitely. Absolutely. Need to bring in the office coordinator. Bring in the offensive coordinator, whoever you think is going to fit what you want to do from a quarterback standpoint. Man, don't bring in Byron Leftwich or Joe Brady or Frank Wright and then draft Bryce Young and try to make Bryce Young stay in the pocket and not move around and deliver from the pocket. Don't do that. Or run a post office. Don't do that. Even though he had that coach with Bill O'Brien. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't draft a statue and try to run the read option. Don't do that. Whoever you decide to draft, maximize what they do well and minimize and mask what they can do. Maximize their strengths, minimize their weaknesses. That's how you be successful. It's exactly how you be successful. Exactly how you be successful. You use your resources and maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. Because if you don't, that's how busts happen. That and also people reaching for guys who shouldn't be going that high. But that's how you get busts. How you get that's really how you get guys who are not even considered to be busters. Guys who this should be a pick, and you don't maximize their talents. Now some people are just wrong on people like Trubisky. Like there's no way Trubisky should have been the first quarterback took in the second pick in the draft. No reason why Blake Bortles should be the number 3 pick in the draft. No reason why no real reason why Trevor Lawrence should be the number 1 pick in the draft. Or Zach Wilson, number 2 pick in the draft. Like those guys are just overhyped. Oh, okay. Joe Brady is the QB coach in Buffalo. That's cool. So you can bring him to be offensive coordinator because it wouldn't. It would actually. It would be in advance. It would be a promotion. You can get people who are on other people's staff and bring them to be, or bring them over here to be a promotion if they're not fired. It's only if it's a lateral move that you cannot bring them over there unless unless the team gives them permission. And nine times out of ten, teams are not willing to give people. 9 times out of 10, teams are not willing to give another NFL team the permission to interview a guy that they have on their roster, on their staff, for the same position. Like that, it's very rare that they like, oh, hey, yeah, you go ahead and go and be the offensive coordinator over there. You my offensive coordinator, but you go ahead and be the offensive coordinator on there. Like it's very, very rare. Like it's most of the time it's like a family situation. Like Gary Kubiak let Kyle Shanahan leave to be the offensive coordinator in Houston to go to Washington to be offensive coordinator with his dad, with Mike. That's because he has a great relationship with the whole family. Like he has, like Gary Kubiak has a great relationship with the Shanahan family from coaching under them, be like him being coached by them. Because like I said, Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator in Denver when Gary Kubiak was drafted. Then when Mike went over to the 49ers staff and he brought Gary Kubiak when Gary Kubiak stopped playing football, he brought Gary Kubiak over there to be a quarterbacks coach, and they won some Super Bowls in San Francisco. Then when he gets the head coaching gig at Denver, he hires Gary Kubiak to be the offensive coordinator. Rest is history. Win Super Bowls, woo, woo, woo. And then when Gary Kubiak leaves, I don't really know exactly what Kyle's start was, but when Gary Kubiak comes over to Houston, because actually when Gary Kubiak first gets to Houston, Shanahan wasn't his offensive coordinator. His offensive coordinator um was it Sherman? They used to be the head coach at Green Bay with Britt Favre. That was Gary Kubiak's first offensive coordinator. So I'm pretty sure that Kyle was on that Kyle was on was on the ground, not on the ground, but Kyle was like somewhere in the coaching staff already, and then lets him be the OC and able to call plays. Rest is history. And like I said, so when his dad's like, hey, his dad gets a head coach job, his dad see that his son is a good offensive coordinator, has a Pro Bowl quarterback, Pro Bowl receiver. Uh, he never coached. We technically did coach Foster, but not the year that Foster led the league in rushing. Uh, but you see that his son's up and coming, and of course he want his son to come coach with him. I'm pretty sure Shanahan wanted Kyle wanted to coach with his dad. Gary Kubiak wasn't going to block that, and I think it happened again in Denver with one of the offensive linemen coach was let go to Denver because it was like a family situation as well. So like it gotta be circumstances like that for them to make lateral moves. Other than that, they don't really block that type of stuff. They don't really block that type of stuff. And like I said, the whole relationship with that whole Kubiak tree. I mean, like Josh McDaniels, the not Josh McDaniels, but the McDaniels, the kid out of Miami, the coach in Miami, Mike McDaniels. He was a quality control guy here in Houston under Kubiak. Matt LaFleur was a guy here in Houston under Gary Kubiak. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan was offensive coordinator. Like the guys who are on Shanahan's coaching tree, coached in Houston. Robert Salah, coached in Houston. D'Amico Ryans, who was the defensive coordinator at 49ers, played in Houston. The Kubiak Shanahan tree run deep, bruh. Them roots is deep, bruh. Them roots is deep. We gotta get back to that. We need to stop playing around with this shit. For real. We really do. We gotta stop playing around with this, bruh. We gotta stop playing around with this. God, stop playing around with this, man. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. I've been here for an hour and 25 minutes, man. I know y'all been waiting on me. I know I ain't been live in a minute, in a long time, a long time. But we getting back. We gonna get back. We getting back to the weekly lives, the double lives a week. We getting back to that. What was I gonna say? Um, I predicted the game. I predicted the Texans were gonna lose to the Giants. It just really went off into a whole little tangent. But yeah, like I said, the Texans still. I feel like the Texans gonna lose to the Giants. The Texans will be at 1-7-1 and still be in prime position to have the number one overall pick. And I think that Cleveland pick should jump up a couple spots, and we'll see exactly what it is right there. Uh, but I actually have a video on my quarterback prospects, so I'm gonna drop that. Probably drop it. I'll probably let it drop on my birthday. It might be like a little birthday, a little birthday video. You know what I'm saying? Might drop it boop, boop, on my birthday, uh, so y'all can see exactly who I have rated and why, and also my comparisons. 'Cause I have NFL comparisons to the top five guys. I have NFL comparisons to the top five guys. uh, for draft. Some past, some present, some good, some bad. So y'all exactly see who I got. Y'all, and y'all can comment and let me know if y'all agree with the comparison. Now, do y'all see the comparisons or do y'all not see the comparisons? So we definitely be on the lookout for that. Probably be dropping tomorrow. Uh, see, Spitz, do you want Andre? Yes, absolutely. Yes, bring Dre into the fold. Absolutely. Absolutely bring Dre back into the fold. Teams are successful when they bring retired players, great players back into the fold to let them do work. I'm not saying bring somebody off. I'm not saying bring trying to think of somebody. I ain't saying bring Jonathan Joseph off the street right now to be the head coach. I ain't saying that. But I'm just saying, like, it's good when you bring in guys in executive roles to help do things because they see things from a different perspective. So, absolutely, I'll bring in Andre. Absolutely. Andre comes from a winner. Like Andre's won in high school. He's one probably the probably one of the greatest football teams ever in college football history in the 2001 Miami team. I don't care what nobody say. To me, I think that's the best. I think that 2001 Miami team is the greatest football college team ever. I think they beat anybody in college football. I think they're the greatest college football team ever. So uh I don't yeah, I definitely think he could help bring in some things, man. But like I said, make sure y'all be on the lookout for that video. Man, shout out to everybody in Soft Sports, Honcho, Wise, Wink, Ray Ray, Hector, Tenny, Swisher, Trill, no Trill Slime Nuts. We already know who it is. Man, shout out to everybody at Soft Sports, the round table. Y'all already know what it is. We got videos coming. Don't worry, we got my Soft Sports. We working on some stuff. We working on a couple stuff actually. We working on some game day pull ups, some tailgate pull ups. We're working on that. Also working on some things. If the Texans get their stuff right, you might see a Soft Sports float. You might see a Soft Sports float. like how we just seen the Astros run it down. You might get to see a Soft Sports float in a parade. So maybe things are coming down the pipeline. But like I said, man, shout out to everybody at Soft Sports. Like I said, shout out to Whataburger. And everybody, if you haven't went to go try the chili cheeseburger and the white chocolate raspberry shake, man, get on that. Get on that. Get on it. Hey, and when you pull up there and you order it, let them know the Spit sent you, bro. Let them know. When you pull up to the window and you order, say you want the chili cheeseburger and you want the white chocolate raspberry shake. Then when you pull up to the window, ask to speak to a manager and just say, hey, I just want to let you know that my boy Spitz off of YouTube referred me to Whataburger to get this burger, to get this combo. Just want to let you know. And y'all need to give him an endorsement. That's what we, cause the multi see every time y'all go to talk to, every time y'all go to Whataburger and y'all help a manager and y'all tell them the exact. No matter what you get, I don't care if you getting taquitos, if you getting a patty melt, if you getting the honey butter biscuit, if you getting the pancakes, if you getting a cup of coffee, if you just going to get some Whataburger fries, I don't give a damn if you just pulling up to get spicy ketchup. If you pulling up to a Whataburger, anytime, any place. Anytime you pull to a Whataburger, I need you that after you order said food and you pull up to the window, or if you're in the inside, however you ever get down, you ask to speak to a manager and you tell them, I just want to let you know that my boy Spence off of YouTube referred me. Just let them know that. So, because when they get the buzzing around, they ain't got no choice. They ain't got no choice. The execs ain't got no choice. They ain't got, especially going to daytime when the big managers up there, they ain't got no choice. They give your boy an endorsement. Come on, man. We gotta work together, man. Teamwork make the dream work, baby. Hey, teamwork make the dream work, baby. We gotta get it. We absolutely gotta get it. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like I say, and appreciate all the happy birthday wishes. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the likes. Hey, if y'all in the, speaking of Soft Sports, if y'all in the Soft Sports Discord, I know Ray in here. I know Wink in here. Man, hey, meet me. Hey, if you in the Soft Sports Discord, I seen Broderick here earlier. Hey, hop in the Discord. I'm about to hop in. You know what I'm saying? We can continue some of these conversations later. So hop in the Discord if y'all are part of the Discord. If you ain't part of the Discord, man, y'all need to get part of it. I'm trying to tell you. Cause y'all think the Soft Sports lives, y'all think these lives be going crazy? Boy, the Discord is must see TV and it ain't on TV. but I think that's pretty much it though. It's pretty much it. Like I said, got the video dropping. The Whataburger shout out. Soft Sports shout out. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's it. Man, hey, I holla. Shit.